Welcome to part 4 of Rapid Fire Childhood Trauma. If you're looking for the other parts, they are posted to the comments section of the index video I pinned to my profile page. This video is tougher than the others, and I mean it. It describes one instance that got physical, the worst one. There were only 3 such instances. But truth be told, this one's pretty bad, and know yourself. If it's going to be too much for you, watch something else, please. I hid the facts about my childhood for many years because surviving something like that is loaded with expectations that are likewise negative. By all socially accepted accounts, I should be a hopeless alcoholic who beats up children. I assure you I am not. Plus, as a child, I felt that the abuse was my fault, so I had a lot of shame at the time. That in turn kept me quiet until I could process those thoughts and feelings. I see things differently now. But know that I am doing fine. The things I discuss here are just events that factually took place. It's part of my history and serves as background for more interesting topics. I have to tell you about this so we can talk about those. For the record, I never saw Gale sober. Not even while he was driving. But he was such an intense alcoholic that he never seemed quite drunk either, though I'm sure he always was. Okay, we're talking about a guy who built a secret compartment in the console of his truck so that he could hide his open beer just in case he got pulled over by the cops. He would wake up in the morning and make himself a Jack and Coke. Then he would open a beer and drive off to work where he would drink all day long. Then he would come home and drink Jack and Cokes until he passed out. When I was 9 years old, I hated onions, especially the pearl onions that look like little balls. One night at dinner, Gale served spaghetti. Unfortunately for me, he had thrown a jar of those pearl onions on top. As we sat down to dinner, he grabbed the plate out of my hands and eagerly served me mounds and mounds of those onions along with the spaghetti. He knew I hated them. During dinner, I ate around the onions, all the while in dread of what might be coming my way. I just couldn't choke them down. So everybody finished eating and left the table. My mom stayed in the room though. Except for the onions, I was also done, but he wouldn't let me leave the table. He ordered me to sit there until I finished them. So there I sat, trying to build the psychological courage to swallow them. But I wasn't making any progress. A few minutes went by and this really pissed Gale off. He asked, "Are you going to eat those, or do I have to feed them to you?" I said, "I'm trying." With that, he completely flew off the handle. He piled mound after mound of spaghetti and onions onto my plate and ordered me to eat all of it. Seconds later, he was at my side. This guy was incredibly agile. He was in the chair next to me. He stabbed about 5 of those onions with a fork and ordered me to open my mouth. Then he grabbed my head and my face, like this, with his free arm, and pushed several forkfuls of food into my mouth. I began to gag and choke. He yelled at me to eat it. He threatened that if I threw up, he'd force me to eat that too. I couldn't breathe. I legitimately thought I was going to die. Frustrated, he pushed my head into the plate in front of me. Then he got up from the chair and dumped the pot of spaghetti on my head. Then he swiped all the dishes to the floor. He gave me 5 minutes to clean the mess up. So I went to the floor and started picking up all the broken pieces of plates and glasses as he stormed off. I was sobbing quietly to myself, but so hard I could barely catch my breath. I didn't know how I was going to be able to clean it all up in 5 minutes, and I was very worried about that. My mom, who had stood there watching all of this take place, said to me, "Don't worry about this mess. I'll take care of it. You just go ahead and take a shower." And that's what I did. Afterward, I went straight to my bed. I did not wait for my mom to say goodnight. I did not ask for her. I just turned the light off myself and went into my bed. When I later heard her in my sister's room cajoling my sister to sleep, I pretended to be asleep myself so that she would not come in. Initially, I was not upset with my mom because she had shown me kindness by offering to clean up the mess Gale had made. I wanted her care so bad. I guess I had an appreciation for the little bit she gave me in that moment. But I came to hate her because she failed to step in and stop him. You know, sometimes you read in the news about a little kid who died at the hands of a step-parent, even though it's frickin' inconceivable. I get how a mother could allow this to happen, because it almost happened to me. Why is it that the mother invariably tries to dispose of the body? Do you ever hear about it going down any other way? What if I had died? Would my mom have assisted with the chopping up into little pieces? Would she have burned me? Would she have weighted me down with rocks and dumped me into Irvine Lake? People who know her in real life believe she is a sweet, down-to-earth, nice old lady. They can't imagine why I want nothing to do with her, because they don't know like I know. And they don't know her like I know her.